So there's this narrative out there suddenly in the Madden community that the universal coverage ability, which previously was thought to be a combination of one step ahead plus every single man knockout ability, those include short route, medium route, and deep route knockouts, as well as every single zone knockout, which includes deep zone knockout, mid zone knockout, and flat zone knockout. But when we started to take a look here at some of the golden tickets, there's been a lot of hot button debate about whether or not universal coverage actually has the one step ahead ability built into it. This DK Metcalf golden ticket that just came out has a lot of people scratching their heads because they think that this third baked on ability is overkill because the first baked on ability contains it. But I've been hearing a little bit of chirping on my Twitch channel. Make sure you guys are following me on twitch.tv/ZanMadden, that this is no longer the case and that you need these abilities separately if you want to truly play great man-to-man coverage. So in today's video, we are going to contrast players with universal coverage and no one step ahead against players that have universal coverage with one step ahead as a stack. We're also going to take a look at how they defend route cuts against receivers that have no abilities and receivers that do have route abilities as well. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, hit that notification bell, and let's get after it. Now, I'm going to be totally real with you. I'm not going to go spend $2+ million on a card. I'm going to build this on my own and just spend the AP. We will start off here with Tribute Patrick Peterson. He does come with the following baked in abilities. He has universal coverage, pick artist, and return man. Those are abilities that you cannot remove. This bucket has bottleneck, which is mostly man press stuff. We're not going to worry about that today at all, but I'm going to go ahead and throw one step ahead down the line. So that way we have built this stack. This is going to be our stacked card that we're going to test against the effectiveness of other players here that are just going to have universal coverage. So to contrast this, he is going to be working against Rod Woodson. You're going to see here that I just have the universal coverage on him, no other man coverage ability on this card. Now, this is going to be our test receiver with no route running abilities whatsoever. This is Julio Jones tribute item. I have removed every single possible ability that could ever light up against man-to-man coverage. That includes your route technician, your slot-o-matic, and your short and mid in elites, where sometimes if they're facing man-to-man, they will light up on a cut and gain separation. This is our test receiver that will allow us to determine whether or not universal coverage will light up on the cut, or if it does need that one step ahead that we have stacked on the Patrick Peterson item. Then on the flip side, we are going to be rocking Calvin Johnson. With this card, I'm going to go so far as to put a route ability on him. This is because we want to test whether or not a route technician against a universal coverage is neutral, or if stacking one step ahead on top of that is what's required to make that neutral. So we're going to be able to test both conditions, this ability stack against receivers that are good and against receivers that don't have route running abilities. Now let's hit the field. And while we are loading into practice mode, make sure you guys take a quick second, pull up another tab, and check out my strategy website, gridirongameplans.gg. If you enjoy the content here on the ZanMadden YouTube channel, you are sure to enjoy what's on my strategy website. Our vault, which is a weekly, yes, weekly, even into the summer months, updated service, keeps you on top of the trends. This could be AP changes, blitz formulas, blocking blitzes, new coverage concepts that are popular in the community, how to beat certain abilities. You name it, we focus on the hot button trends in the community and bring you guys tips to stay on top of those trends and beat them when you face them online. In addition to that, you guys get every offensive and defensive game plan and members only Discord access where we have lab sessions each and every week at no additional cost. And that cost is $9.95 a month. $14.95 if you want to bundle college football. We have a separate vault and game plans on the website for college players as well. So if you guys play both games, we got memberships for one game or both games. You guys can dominate the virtual gridiron on either. All right, we are on the practice field here. In this example, we are going to exclusively look at the left side of the field. We're going to start off with our wide receiver that has no route running abilities. That is our Julio Jones. Just for proof of concept, there are the abilities on Julio Jones. No route running abilities whatsoever. And then across from him is going to be Patrick Peterson. This is our player that is stacked with the one step ahead and the universal coverage. So what we are attempting to kind of set here is our baseline for whether or not the one step ahead is going to light up on a cut. If you guys believe that universal coverage has one step ahead built into it, we're going to see a light up no matter what here, because we do have one step ahead as a separate ability equipped. So we'll start off here with just a post route. And what we're anticipating is Patrick Peterson lighting up and playing that cut. Now it did light up there. However, Julio created separation. Now there are reasons for this. We're not going to dig too deep into this. We're just going to dig into the functionality of the ability. The cover one defense tends to play an outside technique because there is help to the inside. So a lot of times you will see sometimes a post get open anyways. This is not bad coverage. You can individually shade if you want to, but in general, players tend to funnel the action to where their help is. So it's no surprise here that this was still able to win, but we did absolutely see this ability light up and play the cut. So we know that that is to be true. If I were to try other routes here, obviously we know speed outs are very good against man-to-man, but you're going to see right here, no light up on this particular route. Again, one step ahead is not necessarily a guarantee. If I were to put a slant on the field, you see one step ahead jumps it there. So obviously we know that one step ahead is working because he's got it as its own ability, and maybe it's worked into the universal coverage. However, what we want to do here is provide a test of the just universal coverage. So what we're going to do now is we are going to work Rod Woodson, who was our player that only had universal coverage, to that outside DB position, where hopefully we will be able to see a contrast. And again, just to prove our concept, Rod Woodson does not have anything additional in terms of man coverage abilities, just universal coverage. Bottleneck is man press. We are not playing press here. Now, if I run this post route and one step ahead is in fact included in the universal coverage by itself, we will see Rod Woodson light up as Julio Jones ends the tail end of that vertical stem. And you saw that it lit up. So this is automatically telling you right here that we know that the universal coverage does have one step ahead baked into this. You see that it lit up here on the slant as well. So we were able to see that on both of those cuts. This is immediately debunked as a false narrative. Don't know where it started, but it does have one step ahead baked into it. I believe the confusion that many players are getting, where they're kind of not seeing things light up, stems from a long time coded thing in the game, which is universal coverage or one step ahead in terms of man coverage is neutralized by the presence of a route running ability. So that's why we have that Calvin Johnson item. So what I'm going to do is throw him over to the outside left, and we're going to work the exact same route tree that we just saw here against the man-to-man coverage. Now, again, when we take a look, Calvin Johnson, this is all kinds of glitched. It's not showing his abilities, but I assure you it's the same abilities, nothing crazy going on here. And we still have Rod Woodson with the same abilities. If I were to put a post on the field, what we're likely to see is neither player light up on the cut. So we snap this ball here, and you see how that is a neutral interaction. The one step ahead is negated by the cut ability. Basically, one step ahead guards cuts better. Route technician makes cuts better against man to man. So they wipe each other out. So that is something that we fully expected. If I were to run a slant, again, no light up, I'm able to throw that. Now, right there, universal coverage can still get knockouts, but it didn't play the route tighter on the cut. So we are definitely seeing that they do neutralize one another. And that's important because I think so many players are out there thinking that this ability simply doesn't work. Now, I will add this. I don't think man coverage is good at all in this game. I think if you want to play bottleneck, man-to-man press, you know, one step ahead, all the knockouts, the universal coverage, whatever, that's fine. That's your prerogative, but it's still very, very beatable. And I think that's what's leading a lot of people to think like, oh, one step ahead isn't included in universal coverage because their man coverage isn't as clampy as it's been in previous years. If you were to go back to last year's game, in the year before that, in the year before that, we always hit this late cycle ultimate team phase where everybody just gets universal coverage and man coverage comes back. Well, this year, it doesn't really feel like the man coverage on its own is that powerful, and it's certainly not beyond OP from a defending cuts perspective with or without one step ahead. However, we can certifiably announce that one step ahead is included in universal coverage. I don't know where the rumor started, but I'm happy to debunk it. I'm going to get up out of here. You guys have a great rest of your Monday. I'll see you guys later this afternoon with a short, or tomorrow with another long form video upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get the lab and good luck.